Mr. Meredith Buell.
Well, thank you very much. Ambassador, President Karzai gave an interview yesterday to the Washington Post newspaper in which he said that the U.S. should reduce the visibility and intensity of its military operations in Afghanistan and end the increased U.S. Special Operations Forces night raids that he says aggravate Afghans and could exacerbate the Taliban insurgency. Of course, these raids are an integral part of General Petraeus's counterinsurgency and an important part of his strategy now that he has the 30,000 new troops to beat back the Taliban insurgency. Could I simply get your reaction to President Karzai's concerns, and is it time to begin a less visible presence of U.S. troops in Afghanistan?
I haven't seen the full text of the interview, Meredith. In fact, I wouldn't have seen it at all if you hadn't, if your efforts weren't effective and brought it to my attention. But I understand what President Karzai is saying. He wants to return full sovereignty of the country to the Afghan people and their government. And we support him in that. At Lisbon next week, there will be a summit of the NATO countries, including President Obama, and President Karzai will be invited. And he will have his chance to explain his positions again. The policy is to turn over the lead responsibility for security in Afghanistan to the Afghan army and police over the next 4 years, with the international combat forces phasing out. But the United States and our allies will not leave Afghanistan. We will not abandon it, and we will not repeat 1989. This is not an exit strategy. This is a transition strategy. I want to stress that. This is a transition strategy, not an exit strategy. And I say that because I know people in this part of the world, in Afghanistan and Pakistan, in the whole region, are haunted by the image of 1989, when the Soviet Union withdrew and the United States then turned its back on Afghanistan and Pakistan. And the circumstances that then followed put Pakistan in a very difficult spot. And that process led directly from 1989 to 9/11. And we're not going to repeat that mistake. So what President Karzai has outlined in the interview you speak is certainly a goal we aspire to. But in the current circumstances, the military actions he is concerned with also are essential to protect his own government and its people. And the balance has to be carefully calibrated on a regular basis and re-examined continually.
If I could just follow that up, of course the Obama administration is currently reviewing its strategy in Afghanistan. What are some of the hard facts that would tell the people of Afghanistan and the people of Pakistan that this strategy is working?
First of all, I think you'll know the success of the strategy. It will be evident, if it works, in the diminution of violence, in the ability of people to resume their normal lives, in the decline of military incidents and the departure or disappearance of people fighting with the Taliban. Oh, I think that success will define itself and demonstrate itself.
Ayazgul.
Well, I'll just go back to the strategic dialogue that the two countries have recently concluded. Prior to the dialogue, there were several reports, including one from the White House, suggesting that elements within the security establishment in Pakistan are supporting insurgents in Afghanistan. Was there any progress, or was it helpful, the strategic dialogue, to narrow down the trust deficit?
I'm not going to go into confidential discussions. After all, if they're confidential, they need to remain confidential. I have talked to the Pakistani leadership, including General Kayani, many times about this issue. I look forward to seeing them again on this trip. No single fact or detail from my talks with General Kayani has ever become public. I think that confidentiality must be maintained. But I am personally very, very aware of the enormous sacrifices that the Pakistani military have made in Waziristan, in Swat, in the Fatah, in Dir, in Bunair. These are difficult terrains to fight in. and the Pakistani army has taken heavy casualties. In addition, we are very mindful of the sacrifice of the Pakistani people. The bombing 2 days ago in Karachi was a terrible thing, and we are heart-stricken for the people who died and their families, and we extend our condolences. This is a struggle that the United States and Pakistan, who have been friends and allies now for ever since independence, are waging together against groups that are seeking to destroy Pakistan and seeking to destroy the region's peace and stability. They seek to destroy Pakistan. They use Pakistan as a base against American troops in Afghanistan. They seek to provoke conflict between Pakistan and India, and they seek to commit acts of terror in the United States and Europe. And this is a common enemy that we have to work together to fight. General Kayani has often expressed his views on this, and they match in parallel ours. So I look forward to continuing to work closely with him and his colleagues.